Hello, everyone. Simple Majority here. This is episode number what is this? Three of the Old Miner. Well, as promised and advertised, I did get some work done yesterday at the AE network, and I didn't get quite as much as I wanted done. Um, you know, like I said, I've got a lot of things going on in life right now. But one, I'm up in the daytime. Hell yeah, I'm happy about that. Tired of being asleep all day. Sucks. Anyway, AE network's up. Got everything moved over. Let's head upstairs. There you go. Got that there. The actual power system and such is just actually it's right below it here. It's nice and hidden. Took a lot of materials to build this, but when I build my A network, I tend to overbuild it just for future expansion. Come up here. Oh, hello. Shoot. Get off. Ah! Oh, there you go. Dirty little jaybirds. Come on. One more. Come on. As we can see, the monsters are turned on. As far as the eye can see, nothing but slime, spiders, and zombies. Probably gonna wish I had my weapon. Yeah, let me go get my stuff. And where's my bow? Here, bow. Where are you, bow? I do have some automation in place as well. Get to that here in a minute. I'm gonna find my bow. Fine. There it is. Flying bow. I gotta put you away. There you go. And steel. Oh, 42 of those arrows left. I'll be alright. So I do have some automation in play. Show that real quick. Um, in the pulverizer cube here, with this, I actually have the sag mills. I built some sag mills. My pickaxe here just picked up silk touch, so I built some sag mills so I can process stuff like diamond ore and certiz ore now. But I also have one that's processing silicone. This thing here we'll go into in a bit, but this is my inscribers. This is following a tutorial I was looking at online using Steve's factory manager. But essentially, I'll drop the items I need to make into chips in here, and they'll come back out through here once done. But we're not going to go into there for now. We're going out and check our whatchamacallits. There you go. Daylight falls upon us. Well, looks like the whatchamacallits come to a stop. I hate trying to shoot. There you go. So, we got another fresh stomp. Oh, yep. Nice fresh stomp of the quarry system. I'm keeping them pretty tight. I'm just leaving it at its default settings, and I just move it one over. See how much I picked up in this one. I haven't automated it either. Quite a bit. Go ahead and take that on back. Come on. Oh, I love when I do this. And the worst part is he's only taking like 2 damage. Oh. Doesn't matter if he's out of the water or not, apparently. He's not catching fire. Oh. Why are you attacking me? It's daylight. You shouldn't be attacking me at all. How about you? Do you want to play? I'm not even going to try to chase because I don't have a sword. There we go. Back to the roof. And I'll just deposit all that we just picked up. Put that back in inventory. So the nice thing is everything's auto-processing. I don't have to do anything else there in those regards. We can see the network is filling out quite nicely. We'll be ready to do some more expansions here in a bit. Head back on over. Really? Man, that double jump's failing me. I can't get to flight. Yeah, I could if I wanted to expand and just really expand this thing open and have you know, a much larger grid. But since I don't have any automation up for that, it would be kind of pointless to do that. So for now, I will just continue to manually pick the items up and just move the system around as need be. Here, I'll take a look at this. Ah, 4. Really? 4. So I press the E key, it closes it for me. Why? I have no idea. It shouldn't be closing now. But it keeps closing on when I press the E key. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Okay, so we should be pulling ore into the system. I don't know which one's going first. I guess we can go in and take a look. Oh! Okay. We have bugged out because half my machines are missing. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. We just went in the wrong cube. 32,000. Alright, pull these out. I need to make automation for this, too. But I don't want to, like, fully automate it. I think we want ME interfaces for that because I do need coal for other activities. There we go. I really wish we could custom colorize or name these cubes. There we go. Okay, so this is the maceration center or pulverizer area. So right now you see we're auto pulverizing the silver. We also have this one here. It's pull. I think this is the nether stuff. No, I haven't done the nether stuff. It's just the obsidian. Over here we're pulverizing if need be. Certus quartz ore or charged Certus quartz ore because my pickaxe is silky now. And then we have clay here, which is turning clay into silicon. And that's for the other machine. These others are not hooked up yet because they're not being used yet, but eventually they will be. And everything feeds, well, you see right here, to protect the channels. This is right here, 7 channels down here, 7 channels up here. And it feeds into these sides here and then out. So we're only using 11 of 32 channels, which is weird because, well, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So actually, it's more like 11 of 14 channels. So that's what's happening in here. I did notice something interesting when I was setting up my automation system for my chips. That when inside, if there's, let's say, 10,000 power, let me do this there. So you see here the buffer, south buffer is 10,000. Well, when inside, that's RF. So when inside, it'll consume that 10,000 RF and then done. So I found it kind of interesting. Now, I actually kind of want to hook up a connection that runs over here, so it's importing. And so instead of coming into this chest, I can have it directly export the or import the stuff into the A network, the finished products. And I'm going to probably go ahead and do that. All I'll need for this process, oh, you see I got a chip here. Put everything up. Okay. So all I'm going to need for that process is some cable. No. Yeah, and we'll need an import. I think I got some imports left. No. Okay. Ah, wondered why that wasn't showing up. NEI standard. Import. Really? I'm having a little bit of problems today. I don't know why. See, it turned off that, so now I don't have NEI search. There we go. Okay. So, I need annihilation ports. See if we got that. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's it for that. See if I can make that now. Nope, need the piston. Whoops. Yeah, I need to turn off the cheat mode. Oh. There we go. Shift. 3, 4. There you go. Ah, I did it again. And 29 of those. Okay, whoops. Well, yeah, I should be able to make an importer. That's strange. There we go. Oh, okay. Like I said, the game's having issues. Alright, so we'll head on into, actually, first, we'll need to connect this up. Ooh, just got a bonus on my, whatchamacallit? Cool. And, okay, that is feeding in. Good. This away. Yes, I like to keep things nice and pretty and clean. And in we go. Now we're feeding from the bottom side. So here we are. The mighty pressing machine. Now this is taken from tutorial. Remove this. So this whole thing was taken from a tutorial system, or guide, on making the, or automating the inscribers. I can't remember who wrote it. But he had a pretty good idea. He did a little, I did a little, just some stuff differently he did. He had everything in one program, and I really took use of grouping to handle my program. So let me just connect all this up stuff first. I just like to have it coming out of the side there. Okay, so now we'll enable this to be auto and this to be disabled. Actually, I can just go, well, yeah, just export. Because we're not actually importing anything inside this system, that's what the, whatchamacallit's for, the hopper. Okay, so easy enough. System is using Steve's Factory Manager. You see I've got 9, 10 cables, inventory cables connected to the back. I have an iron chest. The iron chest is a parts container, and the wood chest, which is the export container. We have the energy acceptor, which transfers the energy into the system, and that's pretty much it. And on the top row, we have, going from left to right, we have the silicon, not silicon, this is the logic, calculation, and the engineering press. Then we have 3 silicons. How did I get 3 silicons? Well, if you take the silicon press, combine it with the iron block, you'll actually make a duplicate of the press. And then finally, the assembly area. Now down here, we have our trigger. And I did notice something. Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. It's not centered. No, center. Thank you. I did notice an issue. I'm going to get to that. So, the trigger is what makes everything happen. Then we go into a flow controller here, which is just making 5 outputs. And I only use 3 of them. We'll start with the chip print and head inside of that module. Now, this is where I found an issue. Everything, the logic and the calculation worked absolutely fine, but whenever I went to do the diamond, it kept doing this weird bouncing thing, and it did the same thing to the guy in the video. He just did the same thing I did, which is make a separate trigger and input. And I don't know if that's necessarily because you get too many inputs or too many actions on one trigger, it causes a glitch, or if it's just a glitch with diamonds, I don't know. So I just separated it. So essentially, the node here is where it all comes in. Then we have the material input, which is going to be the gold, the pure Certez, and the engineering, or not the engineering, the diamond. Then it goes into a flow, splits out, and then we pull that in whatever specific item in. So for example, logic, we come in here, we have our input node, which goes to flow, then we have our output, which takes the gold, puts it through the machine, and then it's going to take, over here we're going to take the blacklist, the logic press, that keeps the press inside the machine, and then we whitelist and accept only the printed logic circuits. And this is pretty much the same when you look at each one of these other groupings. I think I did things a little differently in this one. I think of this one here I accepted only the chip, and then I blacklisted the press. Now I did foobar a little bit because I was in a hurry. I didn't because I had some pure Certez crystals from testing all this. Then I just used those, and the same thing here. So that makes the chip. The silicon press is pretty straightforward, simple. It's right here. So it takes the silicon in, creates the press, and then it's going to access the inventory of the inscriber and then pull that silicon out, but blacklist or stop the press itself from being removed. And then finally the assembly of the chips. And each one of these are pretty much the same. Go into logic processor, and it breaks down, like I said, into groups. And it just makes it so much easier to manage it. Actually, this one isn't. So we take the chip, the redstone, and the silicon. Chip comes in from the top. The redstone comes in from the west. And the silicon comes in from underneath. And that's how we get that. And each of these are the same way, essentially. So we take a look at here, and we'll get the same thing. Now, the final step is actually right here, and this is what pulls the finished products out. So it's actually going to pull, it's an empty blacklist, which is going to the wood chest, and it's actually going to pull from the inventories of the final inscribers, the lowest level. And it's only going to accept logic processor, calculation processor, or engineering processor as finished product. And then it goes out to the wooden chest, which now then will actually go in to our A network for us automatically. Pretty cool stuff. Now, it's all confusing. How does it actually work? Well, I'll show you. Let's hop out. And we have a blood moon, folks. Lovely. I haven't even started on blood magic. It's crazy. Put these away and that away. So we're going to need some silicon first. Now, we're not going to actually see anything happen with the silicon. It's just going to go in and then completely disappear. So we'll click on our hopper. Oh. Interesting. The buffer's full. That's weird. All right, there we go. So we'll drop our silicon in. We're going to drop redstone in. Now, if we go back into the machine and take a look, we're going to see, or should see, Okay, so it's loading into the buffer, but it's not. Oh, because this is disabled. Okay, importing. Now, oops, I just went out of the system. Let's check it. Okay, it's pulling in the system, which should be pulling in this chest, and it's not. Importing. It's importing in the up. Okay, why are you not? I'm gonna go get my cables. Spent a lot of time making those. Actually, not really. That's why I turned cheating mode on. I was trying to get that thing working. This thing working, right? Okay. So, with the mechanism pipes, for some reason, even though it says it's going to input, it does not actually input into the system. So I'm going to switch to item conduits. Hopefully I've got enough to make it over here. And if I do, great. We're going to go ahead and use that, and this should import it into the system. I had everything working here. But that's what you get for thinking. Okay. Okay. I should have enough. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh yeah, we're fine. 12. And boom. Okay. Over here and boom. Now this we want to insert, and up here we want this to be export. We want it active, always active. And now we should be actually importing into the system. We are. Okay, cool. So now that it's actually working correct, you'll see that there it is. It's going to press, boop, and it's gone. Now it doesn't actually go anywhere. It goes back in this chest because these aren't finished products yet. But you'll see here it's already laid out the silicon for the circuit. Now, when it gets to the redstone here, why didn't it accept the redstone? Okay, the monsters are seriously lagging down. There. Okay, it is importing. Oh, because, like I said, when you're inside the system, it will cease to work. So we'll let that go ahead and import in. And there we go. Okay, now we can go back in and look. So we can see now that the redstone's in the system. You can see that there it is. But we don't have any gold pure certes or diamonds to make this work. So let's go back up and let's do something. Let's build something. All right. So what am I going to build? What do I need to build? I need to build something. There's a whole point to building all that. Now I can't remember. Yes, I need a script. No, I'm too lazy to do it. Ah, yeah, we need to make these. Well, we do need to make those, but that doesn't require anything from the system. Uh, Chargers, we could use those, but that wouldn't make any difference. Do I have extra cells? Was that what I was aiming for? No, I don't have extra cells. Damn, that sucks. Okay, I had a point for building that. Anyway, yeah. So that's how it works. And now I can just, I guess we show how it works. Gold. So we'll just take that, 11 gold. We'll toss that into the system. Yum, 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 yum. Away she goes. And we'll pop back in. And there we go. You can see now, up here, gold is being made into the printed circuit. And then down here, the gold comes in with the redstone and the iron, makes the finished circuit. Drops in here, but immediately gets pulled into our network. So if we come out here, we'll see we have logic processors. Now I probably could actually go ahead and automate the process. Yep. Oops. There, 6, and so on. Now I could actually further automate this by simply, instead of having this hopper on top, I can go back in. I would need a thick cable, run that in, and then have two channels, one going to the output, one coming to the input. I could actually just even use a single small smart cable to do this, because it's just basically two channels on the system. But I can go ahead and set up the ME interface instead of the other to import whatever I need. Now I can also have it further do that by auto importing silicon. Or I can even continue that whole process and have the parts being pulled in and out of the network through the system. So as the parts are finished, everything's basically stored inside the AE network at all times. So there's lots of possibilities what I can do there. Anyway, today I was going to get started. We've only got 2 minutes left. I was actually going to get started with this mod. This is Electrical Age. And I'm going to go ahead and let the video run a bit, mainly because I wanted to show some of the stuff I've done. And we're going to go ahead and get started by building this, the 50-volt turbine. We're going to build the single-use one of these batteries, like the cost-oriented battery. And we're going to build down here the stone heat furnace. We'll build some wires and such and show you how all this comes to work. So, to get started, we're going to need the stone furnace. And of course, everything is screwing up. I don't know why, or what's causing it, but this is the first time this has ever happened. Stone. Like the M key didn't even work there. Wait, oh, I have a Sorry, I got applied energistics turned on. Okay. Well, that didn't do it. Love when I can't remember what the item is. Stone heat furnace. I can turn this back on. There we go. Okay. And before we really get started, we're going to come in here and turn global on. We'll set that to recipe mode. That way we don't have any more problems. So when I click, I should only, there we go. Perfect. So we're going to need stone. Do we have stone? I think I do. Okay. I know I do, actually. So we're going to start by making this combustion chamber. To make that, we need 4 stone. Take that. Put that in the system. Then we're going to need to make the the copper thermal cable. This is going to be required because this transfers the heat from that furnace to the turbine. So to make that, we need 6 cobble and 3 copper. We do actually have that. Okay, we'll make a couple stacks of that wire, a couple tacks of that wire. Okay, finally we're going to need to assemble it, and there we go. So now we have the furnace. Alone, this furnace will not do a single thing. We'll just put that up here. Put that right here. Boom. Okay, so alone, this furnace won't do a single thing. And it also needs some other stuff, which we'll get to. So we'll come back downstairs. Next, we need to make the uh, turbine. So we'll search 50. Oops. 50 volt. Oh, there it is. Okay, so to make that, we're going to need 2 copper thermal cables. We'll need a machine block, an electrical motor, and a low voltage cable. To make the machine block, we need 8 iron plus a copper cable. To make the copper cable, we need just 3 copper cables. This we're probably going to want to make a few of, quite a few of actually. There we go. Back in, because we need this to make this. Right here. So I go there, we'll make 1, 2, 3. We'll make 12 at the moment. Or 10, because that's all we got in the whatchamacallit. Okay. So back in here, now we can make our machine block. Put that in. And then we need an electric motor, which is going to be 3 low voltage wires plus 3 iron. Take that and drop it in. Now we can make the machine, which is 2 thermal cables, machine block, electric motor, and a low voltage wire. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take these with me, because we'll need those. Go back up here. So, whenever I was learning how to use this mod, I tried different wires, because I thought, honestly, this is all you need. Then I got to reading. You need this. This is the copper thermal cable will transfer the heat from this on into this. Now, when you hook it up, you want the big end, or the red port, pointing to this furnace. This is the hot side. And the easiest way to do that, because when you place it, that's always going to be pointing to your left side of your screen. So when you once you place this, just go to the right, and you'll always be on the correct side. This is the basic setup, and we can put some coal in here. We can actually start this up. I think coke coal will even work in this. We'll try coke coal. I need something to burn. 3,200 to burn. So if I put this in there, yep, okay, perfect. To turn it on, you have to hit decline fuel. Now I'll say take fuel. And you'll see the temperature rises up. It's really rising up here. It's going up. And it's actually going to go up uncontrolled. Over here, we're generating 1 kilowatt of power. Now, we don't have any way of checking this to see if it's generating power. But we are generating heat. We'll turn that off. We don't have any way of controlling this. This will continue to climb up until it explodes. As you can see, even though I've said decline fuel, it's still continuing to climb. To stop that for right now, we're going to break it, and then we'll put it back down. So we need something to stop the meteoric climb of temperature. And to do that, we're going to use our mega regulator. Now, there are different kinds of regulators. Oops. Actually, I wanted... Up here is where I want. I get used to using the NEI. Really? There are 3 different kinds of regulators. We have the on-off 1% regulator, on-off 10% regulator, and analogic regulator. Now these two here, the on-off 1 and 10%, the on-off 1% will be 1% of target temperature. So if you say, let's say set your target temperature at 200 Celsius, then the regulator is going to turn on and off at 1% of 200 degrees Celsius, which would be 2 degrees, I believe. So it'll be 198 is when it turns off, and it turns off at 200, 202, and then turns on at 198. The 10% regulator is going to be 10% of 200. Actually, this is lower. 1% would be 10% of, yeah, no, that's right. 2%, 2, and this would be 10 degrees on the positive and negative. But this works at 10%. Now this one here, the analogic regulator, actually will watch the temperature, the needs of the system, of your generator, and turn on and off based on those needs, or increase the power. So you don't actually control the controls of this with this one. It will control itself. So to make that, we need 2 redstone, a cheap chip, and an iron chip. To make the on-off regulator, simply just 3 redstone and an iron. 10%. That's the 10% one. The 1%. Oh, the 10% is like a V and then that. Now this, we take that cheap chip. That's going to be a silicon ingot. And to make the silicon ingot, we'll need pyrothorium dust, silicon ore, or we can grindstone silicon ore. And notice it's silicon ore. And you get that from Galacticraft, but we all know that if you take a pickaxe silicon ore, you get that raw silicon. An enrichment chamber can do dirty silicon dust and turn it clean, or you can just do straight out with the ore itself. The pulverizer can take it and turn it into dust. Same with the sag mill. Now let's see if I actually happen to have any silicon. I do actually. I have some raw silicon ore. Thank God for Silky. So we'll take that. We'll have to go inside the cube. Because I don't have direct access to any of this outside. We'll use the open pulverizer over here. Okay. And there we go. Cool. And it's going to pull that out. Okay. We want to be careful because actual silicon itself is used by Galacticraft. And I don't think it'll take the silicon that we're making right now and use that. So just be forewarned, it might be a wise idea to keep a pickaxe around. Okay, so we still need to make a silicon ingot from that. Wow. I might actually, you know what? I may actually just rebuild this pack, get all the stuff from the website, because this is using much older builds of the game, and that could be a lot of the problems, like all these mods. This, for example, with the Iguanas tweak, in the newer versions, it'll actually tell you what material level you need. It actually says you need X material level to harvest this. In this one, it says you need tier 6 or tier 7, for example. Okay. I'm not going to totally fool with that for now, though, because we are doing this. Ray, I'll just put up with it. Regu. Okay. Now, like that, and there's our cheap chip. Now we can go back in here and make ourselves the analogic regulator. Now we'll pop back upstairs to our machine. Now if we drop this in, right here, that's the regulator slot. This is a combustion chamber slot. We'll get to this later when we get more advanced burning. Turn decline on, take fuel on. Again, temperature is going to decline, but notice now it's doing it at a much slower rate. If we grab our slide bar, pull it up, you'll see now I can get it to go real fast, or I can pull it down and stop it again. So we're controlling the burn for this. We'll go ahead and connect our last wire on the blue side, because there's one more part to the system to make it functional, and that is going to be the cooler. Now to make the cooler, we'll first look at the coolers through the wiki. There is a built-in wiki. Just press the X key by default and come down until you find. Here they are. So we have the 200 active, the small thermal dissipator, and the small passive dissipator. We're going to use the small active, I believe. Click on it, and it'll tell you what you need to make with it. So we need 2 rubber bars, electric motor, and a small passive. Okay, so rubber bars. We don't have that. First, before we go out and look at those, let me show you how to make the basic silicon collection. You're going to need wood planks. I know I have some. I don't have enough. Do I have any oak wood? Really? I don't even have wood. Well, when in doubt, just go steal from the houses. They won't miss it. Believe me. Alright, so when you start with this mod, there is a way of making basic collection for silicon. I'm sorry, the rubber. Not silicon, just rubber. You're going to need some wood planks. And what you're going to do is draw a bucket like this. And that's going to give you the tree resin collector. You can just simply take those, and we'll head out to the ones I have set up, so we can collect more rubber. And head over here, and you can see there's one right there. I've got 5 over here. And if you look, it's full right now. So if I right click, we'll get 2 resin per pot. There's 4, 6. Should get a total of 10 out of this. 8. And then over here is number 10. There we go. Okay. Now you can attach more. You can even have a tree farm, set that up, and just have the trees basically continue gathering resin. Now, later in the mod, as you build up, you will be able to extract using machinery. You can actually extract um, there. You'll be able to extract the resin from the wood itself. I think it's through the compressor. Yeah, I think it's the compressor actually. Again, I might be wrong on that. So we're making the rubber right now, right there. And see, I think you get two. Yeah, two rubber per one resin. So 10 will yield 20. There we go. Might as well grab that gold. I need to connect that into a network anyways. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And we need rubber bars. Click on that. And raw rubber, precision sawmill, so furnace. Let's do this. Passive. Let's make this first. So this is the passive cooler, thermal dissipator. I'm just going to use 7 copper and 2 copper thermals. Only need one of those. Then we need the small active. Okay. To make this, well, okay, it was a split. So we need rubber, or the other one, the electric motor. Make that. Oops. Okay. I forgot to hit the shift key. Make a small electric motor. You see we've run out of wire now. We're running out of wire, let's put it that way. And there we go. Okay. So head back upstairs. And then we're going to connect this up. Like so. Boom. Now you notice it's not actually running yet. The active cooler requires actual power. Right here on the small part. Notice this one's thick. That's for the copper thermal. This one here is actually for voltage cable. So to make this system, this work, we're going to actually need some cable. To make that, we'll need our low volt. Yeah. All right. Now, come over here. And then we'll just simply connect these two together. And you can now see that the motor starts up. And it is taking power. And we now know that our system is actually producing power at the moment. And because that cooler is actually turning. So we'll connect like so. Just run that out. There we go. And as long as we're producing using power, we're going to it's going to work on its own. It won't actually overload. Okay, so that's the basics of power. Now I'll turn on cheat because I don't want to go. Well, I guess I can make it electric. Ah, wrong search box. Electric. Where's that furnace at? Here it is. Let's see if I can make this. I'll need that. Just got Hot Topic. I'll need a wire in the system. There it is. And there we go. And connect that to here. Boom. Now we need a heating coil. It says a heating corp slot. That's a regulator slot. And there are different kinds of, well, here they are. There are different kinds of corps. Small 50, we'll do a small 50. It's just pure copper cable. There we go. And now I should be able to hop up and connect that in. And there we go. So we can see right now we're very low on power supply. And that's because we're not generating enough power on this end. So what we're going to do is bring that on up to, we'll say 280. And there she goes. Actually, she's going to go right up on the high end. Okay, so that's too much. So we're using way too much power. There we go. So now we can actually put in whatever we want, and it will smelt it right away. Cool. Very cool. Some interesting things to point out, from what I understood. This setup here, it doesn't depend on matter how much distance there is in these wires. That means from this point to this point and to this point, the temperatures will always remain constant. So temperature here will be the same as over here. Actually, it'll be a little less because there's actually temperature stored inside this. And what we're doing is generating heat, which in turn generates power or electricity. I'm going to be a little more detailed in my next video. I'm probably going to take us right through the tutorial world where we could look at these things and talk about them and understand more, because the tutorial world was actually quite detailed in this and very helpful. Because this mod is very, very detailed. And I would be joking or selling you short if I said it was easy to learn. It is, it can be, but there's a lot to it. You know, there's a lot of ways. You got Modbus RTUs, we've got signal boxes, signal processors, timers, and everything else. Even lighting. You know, here's a small 50-volt incandescent, and we have economic bulbs, and then we have farming lamps, and it just goes on. You know, you make lights, you got to build the light socket, and you got to build the light itself, and like I said, it just keeps building up and building up. These here, though, are the machines. So we've got the 50-volt and 200-volt macerator, the 50-volt, 200-volt compressor, 50-volt, 200-volt magnetizers, 50-volt and 200-volt plate machines, egg incubator, auto miner, which is kind of cool looking. This has actually really got some awesome designs to it. I'm going to turn on cheat again, just so we can look at these things. Some of these cooler ones. We'll get the experimental transporter. And the auto miner. These are two really neat things to look at. All right, so we'll drop you down. There's the transporter. What? I know, tell me. So basically, we'd have two of these, one set up in another location far off, and we'd have to sync them, and I don't know how to synchronize these together yet. But you would step in here, you right-click on the machine, say start. The door will close, it'll start charging up electricity from your system. Once it reaches enough, you teleport, and you can teleport a long ways. And it's pretty cool. And here's your PowerPoint right here. I don't think it's on the other side. It's on the other side. So you have power ports on all three of the four sides of it. The other neat one is this guy, the auto miner, which is now hanging off the back. But at the back of right here, between this opening here in the back, you can connect a chest, and you then would be able to auto collect everything that it picks up. But essentially, I believe it digs straight down. You'll fit your drill pipe in, you put your drill bit in, and so forth. It takes a lot of power to run, and there's your power port there, maybe on the other side as well. Yep, you have a power port on each side. So it'll dig straight down and collect everything. It's not as cool as a quarry, but it the model itself is very well thought out and designed. There we go. Cool. We have the transmitters. You can actually wirelessly transmit your power across distance, which can be very helpful. It's again another thought out design. Defense turrets. Great way for helping block off your base. Then we got these guys, the data loggers. To show you this, I have to wire it in. But essentially, this is a computer which will it reads like an oscilloscope. You can configure it using probes, and you can monitor the input outputs of your network. So if I wanted to, I would hook up over here the computer. I'd have to rotate it. I would hook a probe up here to monitor this and say, tell it to shut off at 55 volts and start up at 52 volts, and that would keep this properly right inside there. We don't need to because this is doing good. These come in very handy when building large setups, especially batteries, because if you overload a battery, it will explode. This will not explode because it's constantly outputting power. It's always pushing out power. So we're not going to actually use up or build up excess power and heat inside the system. We have diodes. Then we have the battery chargers, the lamp supply, which allow us to connect a multitude of lamps to one circuit, which means we can actually power our base off lights, and the lights are pretty cool in this, I'm not going to lie. Relays for switching on and off between one supply to another. Signal trimmers, signal switches, daylight sensors, and so forth. Transformers, really nice, another nice model, thought out. Oops, put it over here, that way we don't have any problems. So right now it's not going to do anything because we don't have anything in it. But if we come over here like that, we should get nothing. Okay, we still need the core for it. And I don't know where the actual core is. I haven't found it in the NEI. I've seen it, I just haven't seen it, if that makes any sense. But anyways, eventually it has a nice little animation. It shows, if you see by hand, it kind of looks like a ring with a high and low side to it. Of course, we've already seen the whatchamacallits. Here's the batteries. Very simple looking. There are different kinds of batteries. This one is the cheapest of them to make. And it also has one of the worst life chances. But each battery has a little different life expectancy, and decay rate. Solar panels, these are cool. And we'll need the tracker. So there's our solar trackers, okay. So these are actually kind of cool. If we put these out, right now they're not going to do anything. They don't generate very much power, but that's green power for you. Um, there we go. So without, oops, that won't work. We want that morning time. So without the trackers, we manually have to adjust. So you see it says Sun Alpha -75. So we need to get this over here to as close as we can. And you can see the panel is turning. It's not very effective though. So if we take and put a solar tracker in, do that here, and you'll notice it's going to immediately start turning. Cool. So now you don't have to constantly monitor your solar panels. The panel array itself can be monitored through this. And we'll talk about these later and how to build these and so far, especially in how to build them. So we go noon, there we go. Panels go up and follow the track. Pretty cool. And like I said, we'll talk more about these and how to build them in a later date. This video has run on for an hour now, and I really should stop because I never wanted the videos to get up to an hour. Not ever. So we'll talk more about these in the upcoming episodes. We'll build a lighting system. The next episode, which will probably be a bonus episode for tomorrow, will be a trip into the tutorial age, so that you can't even build that Modbus RTU. It's not even available yet. Um, but we'll go into the tutorial world and we'll go through it and talk about it. Until then, this is Mr. Simple Majority signing off. Have a good one.